we're building a space that the community will effectively use as they wish.
Welcome to the Bailiwick Express podcast. My name is Matthew Leach. I'll be joined each week by a guest for a series of podcasts. Each will shine a light on topics from across the bailiwick. The format will change week to week. We'll have debates, reviews, hot seat interviews and special guests. So stick with us as we offer some insight on some of the most important issues we in the bailiwick face. The community redevelopment project being undertaken at La Vallette is nearing completion, with the charity responsible excited for opening up a true community space for St Peter Port. Vive La Vallette was set up in 2019 with the sole intention of wholly redeveloping the area and the facilities that serve the children and ladies' pool. It's now set to open for Easter 2022, and Express spoke to one of the charity leads, Helen Bonner-Morgan, about the journey so far. We're here today, we're talking about the La Vallette, the regeneration project. I mean, me and you have spoken in the past. What stage are we at now? Are we still on for next year?
Yes, it's really exciting actually. The build process is going really well. We've had a couple of setbacks obviously with the initial first lockdown early in 2021, soon after we'd put spades in the ground. There have been a few material issues in terms of getting things for the project, but that's just meant that the project manager has just had to rearrange a few things in terms of sequence, and we're set to be the builders are set to be off-site at the end of March 2022 with a view to us opening in April.
And so give us a little refresher of what we're opening in Easter. What is this? A community kind of project, isn't it, really?
It's completely community focused. We, Vive La Vallette, are a charity that was set up in 2019 to wholly regenerate that area of La Vallette and the facilities serving the ladies' and children's pools. And so what we've really tried to do, and what's come through the brief for the architect, is make it as accessible, both physically and culturally, for the community of Guernsey. So we're building a space that the community will effectively use as they wish. We're not going to leave that entirely up to serendipity and chance. We are going to be delivering programmes and encouraging schools and other organisations to use the place. And so we're working closely with the Guernsey Sports Commission, the Health Improvement Commission. We hope that the Youth Commission will find it a really useful space to engage with their clients. And in addition to that, we hope that Guernsey Mind will bring their group down to use the space, because they have a swimming group that regularly meets on a Friday, and the list goes on and on. And so the opportunities are huge.
So what work is going on there right now? So
RG Fuller are our contractors, and they're working on the building itself. But we're also really pleased that we've been working very closely with the States to deliver the restoration work on the pool, which is a massive positive thing for us, I believe, and for the community as a whole, that we're working so closely and co-productively with the States. So that's going on at the moment. The States have contracted Geomarine to restore the pools, which will really improve the user experience, because the surfaces will be no longer as uneven. And
they needed a bit of love.
They really, really did, yeah. So we're really pleased, because that will more or less, the end of that work will coincide with the work that our contractors are doing on the building itself. So, I mean, in terms of the building itself, we use the existing footprint that was the changing rooms and kiosk level before. But what our very clever architects have done is just refurbish that space and added upwards. So the footprint hasn't expanded. It's they've just really modified and developed that footprint. So there are going to be refreshed changing rooms, a covered cafe, which will be the economic engine of the community-focused project. And then on the top floor, which is the upper mound, as people would know it, there's going to be a flexible space that can be used for community groups, but in addition to that we will be working with our corporate sponsors for them to use the place either for themselves or for one of their chosen charities.
It's going to be quite spectacular when it's finished, I can imagine. I mean, it seemed like an area of St Peterborough that really needed to be revamped, and because it's a brilliant part of the island.
It really is, and already, I mean, we've taken a few people around on tours of the site as the building work's been progressing, and to stand in on the cafe floor itself and to be on the newly formed balcony and really get to feel and sense the new views over the pool and out towards Castle Corner and Herm and so on is it's just wonderful, and I think that people are going to be inspired by it. I mean, it's a really, really positive thing for St Peter Port Town and for Guernsey as a whole, I think.
I mean, so the idea to regenerate the area, where did it come from, and why was it decided that it needed it, even though it clearly did?
Yeah, well, the States back in 2018 threw out their Seafront Enhancement Area Plan, and that piqued the interest of Dave Waugh, who's the chair of Vive La Vallette. He's been absolutely embedded in the charitable sector for quite some time, having been involved with the Guernsey Community Foundation, and he really saw this as an opportunity to create an exemplar public private development. So when I say public-private, it's more public third sector, but we have had lots of support from private individuals and organisations to make this happen.
When you talk about that kind of support, I know you're raising money
Yes.
to get the development going. I mean,
Yeah.
have you reached your target? Are you still on track to reach your target?
Well, we're certainly on track, and we've been really fortunate that grant givers and corporates and individuals have come forward with support. But we've got this wonderful initiative, which is really quite an egalitarian way of the whole community contributing to the capital costs of the build, and that's in the form of us asking for pledges or donations for pieces of cladding that will adorn the front of the changing rooms. And that will really mean that if people get involved and make that donation, we've set it at a minimum donation of £500, but that means that groups of people can come together and pay their part and have their organisation or their swim group's name on it, for instance. And what's really exciting, and what will be visually exciting, is that all of these names will form a rhythm and texture along the front of those changing rooms, and they'll be there for many years to come because of the material that we've used in the process.
Have you had some people come forward already?
Oh yes, no, we've got loads of names, and in fact the engraving of the cladding is going to be starting imminently. The materials arrived, the CNC cutter is set up in the basement or the bottom floor of DLM Architects, and they've completely geeked out on how to do it brilliantly. And no, it's going to be exciting to start seeing them come out. Yeah.
What's the cladding made of?
It's made of a 100% sustainable. Well, actually, it's a recycled product. It's 100% plastic, but it's been created from the waste from sea fisheries. It's compressed black plastic, which will obviously not require ongoing maintenance, which is one of the things that was in the brief for the original building, to make it as a sustainable, as robust a building as possible for the site.
I was going to ask then along that vein. So when it opens,
yes.
when this is all passed in Easter is what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Is that the end of the development, or is there future plans? What happens next?
Gosh, well, the moment that the building opens is really when the project starts, because that's when the community starts using the space. So we have this wonderful, rich culture already there at the pools. There are many people swimming there on a daily basis that have been swimming there since the 70s or even before. So we obviously want to keep on building on that, and you'll have seen in the press and the media in Guernsey how big swimming in the sea has become for so many people. So the building itself will become I'm sure, the spiritual home of all swimming, not just the open water swimming, which it already is. And thereafter, of course, I was saying that people will start coming. We're encouraging school children to come down, and we're working on that quite hard at the moment to ensure that there's opportunities for primary school children, years 5 and 6, to come and get their first experience or a regular experience of being by the sea.
I need more excuses to get myself down into the sea. I tried swimming a lot this year, so it was I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, well, what we want to do, and what's really important when people are habit changing or doing things for their health and well-being, is to make it as easy as possible. If there is friction and something coming, getting in the way of someone doing something that's good for them, sometimes it's hard to do it. So we hope that by creating these fabulous facilities for people to use in the centre of St Peter Port, or just so accessible with the bus service being so close, etc., if we make it as easy as possible for people to do something that's good for them, that more people will do it. So I hope, Matthew, that you'll be a regular.
I will, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the group that is doing this, is working this project, I mean, is there a lot of you? I mean, it must bring you all together to do something like this.
Well, we were originally a group of, I think, about 8 of us, and that was enough for us to sort of put together the brief. But it has grown in time, and we're really pleased that Daniel Green, who runs the fabulous cafe up at Specsavers, has come on board as our catering consultant, and he's put together a really great concept for us for the cafe, and is making sure that it will be professionally set up and run, and he's helped us work on what we need in the kitchen. And we're also really pleased that Adrian Sarchet, our sea donkey at Guernsey, has got really behind it, because one of the things that we're really keen to do, and we were keen to do firstly with the building itself, was to make sure it was accessible physically. One of the things he's really supporting is the accessible access ramp down into the water, which is one of the initiatives you've already reported in the Bailiwick Express. And that access ramp is in with planning at the moment, and we hope to be telling everyone more about that and the initiatives to fundraise for that in the new year.
It's all very, very exciting. I mean,
yeah.
Are you going to be launching with a big party? What's the plan?
Well, yeah, what is the big plan? We have been talking about that quite extensively. So it's a case of, I think, watch this space. I think that there'll be loads of opportunities over certainly 2022 and beyond to celebrate what's happening there. And I think that what's quite fitting, I think, is that we've been working hard with our head down, just actioning as much as we can. So I don't know if we want to either celebrate with a big bang or just open up and just let people use it.
That is the big bang, I suppose.
That is the big bang. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, we're not going to necessarily have fanfares. We just want to get it open and get people down there and using the place.
So if people do want to help or support it, donate, to get involved with the cladding or anything at all, what can they do?
Well, we have a website which is called thebathingpools.com, and on that website you can find a contact page and get directly in touch with me to talk about fundraising initiatives. And when you get in touch with me via that contact page, you'll be sent some details of how to get involved with the cladding initiative that has our email address on it. Or talk about some other way that you might want to contribute, because we've always said that we don't have the monopoly on good ideas. And so if someone really appreciates how focused we are on the community and they can see a need within the community, how do we come together and make something happen? We've got lots of ideas and we're actioning plenty of them, but someone might have something else that they want to do, and we're really open to that happening.
So it's a community space for us to use?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to ensure that, I think we do have a really clear soul print. We are community focused for starters. We are working hard to support people's health and well-being. We want to regenerate the area. And that's not just the footprint of the building, but we want to see that whole area running from Havelet up to the ladies and children's pool improved. And I've mentioned already that we're a charity. Any profits that we generate through the cafe or through usage of the space will be directly ploughed back into the project as a whole. We're very collaborative. We want to work collaboratively with people, and I would say that our team is very competent. So we want to work with other organisations that are equally aligned with us, really.
Thank you for listening to the Bailiwick Express podcast. The title track was Shift My Weight by Luno. If you enjoyed it, I know it's a pain, but please like and share. It all helps, and remember, you can hit bailiwickexpress.com to stay right up to date with whatever is happening in the Bailiwick. You can find us online, on social, on email, and on internet radio. There'll be more from me, Matthew Leach, and all the Bailiwick Express team next Friday.